Hey there, Happy New Year! What area or areas of your life need a brand new beginning? Well, if you think about that, that's what we're talking about in this series called Starting Strong. So, what areas in your life need a fresh start, a brand new beginning, like a do-over? Think about golf, they were called mulligans, like you'd chip a shot and it went awry. Well, what areas in your life need a mulligan, like a fresh beginning? And as we think about this series, I think it's really important for us to remember that in Genesis 1, verse 1, it says, in the beginning. And that's what we're doing this time of the year, in the beginning. It's a beginning of a brand new year. So a fresh start, starting strong, and thinking about what does that look like? What are some kind of helpful tools, keys, reminders that would set us up for some success with a new beginning, with a fresh start. So when you look at Genesis 1, verse 1, in the beginning, it says, God created the world. So I would say that first and foremost, a good pointer, a good take it to the bank application is always start with God rather than trying to make your own beginning. So asking God, hey, I'd like to have a new beginning, a fresh start. What would that look like for you, God? And how could we work together? How can I keep my eyes on you to help me with this new beginning? If you're like me, I've started projects and started new things, and I'm really good at starting something, but I'm not always good at continuing and concluding. Like I can start strong and then I kind of peter off and dip to nothing. That's why I think it's always helpful to put God in the mix from the beginning and ask God, participate, help me, and let's work on this together. The other thing, remember that it says God created the heavens and the earth. And God can put creative ideas into your heart, into your mind, and God can create a new beginning, a fresh start. God can create things that you didn't anticipate, opportunities. God is the master creator. And so let's ask God to participate, to create, to be themselves. There's three of them, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Be all of who they are, the master creators that made heaven and earth and all the cool things we know, including camels with two humps and bizarre sperm whales that have weird looking heads and hammer sharks, with the little sword fish. This is our master creator. And if God can do such diversity and such splendor and glory and strange things, we would be wise to invite God to create in our lives and to help us with creating that new beginning, a fresh start. Another thing that would be helpful to you as well, I would suggest in terms of new creation, a new beginning, is let God fashion and form your life. So in Genesis 2 verse 7, it says that God created man. God got into the dirt and sculpted, fashioned all of the dirt, made this beautiful masterpiece, a statue of the most splendid human that you could possibly imagine. Better than Michelangelo. God sculpted humanity, sculpted Adam. And let's allow God to sculpt and create in our lives, sculpt job opportunities, sculpt the talents that God has given us, to fashion and form those, to shape those, to mold them, and to fit things in our lives that seem to be disjointed. Letting God create and sculpt and form and shape and do new things, explore and adventure. But the other thing I would say as well is remember that the way God created, particularly in Genesis chapter 1, is God spoke and then he created. Then it was created. God spoke into reality. And I think that's important for us with a new beginning, that we let our words agree with God. If there's a new beginning and you start to say negative things, I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I've always failed, I'm lazy and all that, then those words counteract a new beginning. So it's helpful if we let our words reflect God's creative power. I'm doing a new thing. I'm having a new beginning, a new start, and I'm asking God to help me to let that new beginning become reality and become permanent in my life and not just a one-off, impulsive, hopeful conclusion or result. So let our words reinforce what God says and reflect what God says. We let God participate and sculpt and shape and form our talents, our abilities, the opportunities, the world around us. And then finally, I would encourage you with this. Let time be a blessing and not a curse. I say this because in Genesis 2 verse 2, it says God blessed the seventh day. And in Ecclesiastes 2 verse 2, it talks about how in God's timing, God makes beautiful all things in His timing. And there's a time and a place for things and situations and circumstances. So God participates in time, and God created time. So time is not meant to be a curse to us, but rather a blessing. And I think we consider it to be a curse when we run out of time, when we're in pressure, under a deadline. This is when time can become difficult for us to manage and we resent it. But fundamentally, God meant time to be a blessing in our lives. God blessed time. God blessed the seventh day. God blessed rest. So let's not perceive time as a curse or something that is a deficiency, but rather God has organized time so that there's opportunity for us, but also seasons where we can rest and we can trust in the fullness and presence of God, God's peace working in our lives. So a new beginning. We're starting a new beginning, a new chapter, a new season in life, and we're celebrating what God can do as our Creator in us as well as through us. As we finish up, I just want to give you a quick joke. In what year did Christmas and New Year's fall in the same year? Well, they fall in the same year every year. Like, that's pretty stupid. I agree. It is stupid. But we're going to continue this series next week, and I'm very excited because we're going on the same idea of in the beginning. And so we're going to give you some tools next week as well to help you continue this journey of a successful beginning.